Recently, I got a comment from a viewer that was asking if I would take a look at the compact Skil 12-volt reciprocating saw, the brushless one, and compare it to the M12 fuel. So I got both of those saws, and it took a while to get the M12 because I had a Amazon faux pas. But I have those two saws, and I decided to break out my Hercules 12-volt brushless as well. And we're going to compare all three of these saws and see what they can do and how they stack up against each other. Now, you may have noticed that Skil batteries have a USB port on them for charging your devices. So I made another video going into how well that port works and actually test the power output of the battery through that port. Now, that's a members only video. I try to make a lot of videos for my members as well. So if you're interested in seeing that, just hit the join button below or hit the card at the end of the video. I'm going to do 6 cuts through 2x4 with each saw, 3 cuts with a 5-pound weight starting first, and then the second 3 will be with a 10-pound weight. All these saws have a 4 amp hour battery. As you can tell, I did the first cut at full length. All the cuts after the first cut, I'm going to speed those up so the video doesn't take so long. Next up is the fan favorite M12 fuel from Milwaukee. Well, the Milwaukee spanked the Hercules pretty good. Let's see how the Skil's going to do. And just a reminder, we're using brand new DeWalt blades for each saw. Well, it looks like the Skil did pretty daggone good too, so let's see the numbers and compare and see which one of those actually was the fastest. We know it's not the Hercules. Well, as indicated, the Hercules is a distant third place. The Milwaukee came in second at 8 seconds average per cut, and the Skil did a really good job at 6.7 seconds per cut. Now let's move on to some metal to see how these saws react when cutting through unistrut. I'm going to make 2 cuts in 1 5/8 unistrut, one cut with 5 pounds of weight and another cut with 10 pounds of weight. That's 2 cuts per saw. We'll be using a brand new Diablo metal cutting blade, and may the best saw win. Let's see how the M12 fuel will compare with the Hercules with this metal cutting. So the gap between M12 and Hercules on the unistrut cutting is not nearly as big as on the wood cutting. But it does look like the M12 likes that 10-pound weight a lot more than the Hercules does, because it came in almost 10 seconds faster the second time through. And the Skil is right there with the M12 with this unistrut cutting. So it'll be real interesting to see how well the Skil does with 10 pounds of weight downforce. Well, it turns out Skil likes 10 pounds very much, turning in the fastest time by about 4 seconds at 29:30. Well, when you look at the numbers, the metal cutting was a lot closer than the wood cutting as far as the Hercules and the Milwaukee and the Skil. The Skil still came out on top by a couple seconds over the Milwaukee, but it was close. And the Hercules was only a few more seconds behind at 39.37. So let's take a look at the specs of these three saws. And let's start with the backside, because one of them has some junk in the trunk. The handle of the Hercules saw comes in at 1.23 inches across. The M12 at the base is much girthier at 1.845 inches. The Skil is a little bit less at 1.294 inches across. As far as the weight, the Skil is the heaviest at 1,939 grams, the Milwaukee is second at 1,832 grams, and the Hercules is the lightest at 1,770 grams. The height of the Skil is 368 millimeters, which makes it the tallest. The Hercules is second at 338, and the Milwaukee is the shortest at 330. That is with their 4-amp-hour batteries. As much as I hate to say this, a one-handed reciprocating saw will come in handy when clearing plumbing pipes out of an access hole. I worked in the trades for a long time, and there was some of this placement/retaliation dynamics between some of the trades. So let's see how well you can hack a plumbing pipe out of the way at your trade job with these saws. 2-inch PVC, schedule 40. We're going to make 3 cuts. We're going to use brand new 14 TPI metal cutting DeWalt blades. Milwaukee fuel. Battery's full. 4-amp-hour. Hercules with the 4-amp-hour. Battery's full. Brand new blade. Skil, 4-amp-hour, full battery, brand new DeWalt blade. So you might ask yourself, why is the Skil slower than the M12 cutting through the PVC? The M12 was at 5.5 seconds, the Skil was at 6.2, and it still beat the Hercules at 6.3. Here's what I think the reason is. Let's take a look at the trigger lag of these saws. This is the time it takes between when the trigger is pressed till the saw starts. Because the Skil reacted so slowly, it couldn't beat the M12 in this particular race. It's one of the most annoying features of the Skil, because if you use it repeatedly, it's going to be very annoying to have that slow trigger reaction every time. When using these compact saws, a lot of times you're stretching out, you're working overhead. So I put together a little apparatus here to test how much weight these saws are going to put on your shoulder when you have them at a 90-degree angle to your body, roughly 24 inches from your shoulder. The first up is the Milwaukee, and the Milwaukee looks like it puts just over 5 pounds of strain at that 90-degree point. The Skil looks like it puts out just a little bit less, right below 5 or right at 5. And then the Hercules is right around the same spot as the Skil, right at 5 or just below. Let's compare the different sound levels of the different saws, and also my Bauer saw, which is 20 volt. First up, we have the Hercules, and the Hercules is coming in at right around 86, 87 decibels. The Skil, it's a little bit quieter at 85, just hovering right around 85 decibels. And last is the Milwaukee M12, which is coming in a little bit less than those, right around 84. Compared to my Bauer saw, which is 20 volt, which is much louder, these are relatively quiet. The maximum strokes per minute I measured with the Skil was 3107. With the Hercules, it was 2997. And with the M12, it was 2877. Let's go outside and have some fun. A lot of us take these things outside to cut tree limbs off. Even though baby chainsaws are prevalent now and very popular, we don't all have one. So let's just go full OPE with these little things and see how they do. Wow. It's just the outer layer. Isn't nature amazing? Now back to our program. So let's go to our chart now to see where these saws stack up. We're looking at the Skil. I had the model number there, the Hercules, and the Milwaukee. You can see the model numbers on the screen. And the first thing we're looking at is the height, weight, and decibel rating. The height is measured in millimeters, and the weight is in grams. And taking into account the measurements, the total points for dimensions start at 28 for Skil, 25 for Hercules, and 26 for Milwaukee. The higher the score, the worse it is. So you want the lowest score when tallying up these totals. Next are our totals for the average cut through metal, the average cut through wood, and the total PVC cut. Using a formula that I created, that comes out to a performance total of 42.3 for the Skil, 60.9 for the Hercules, and 44.5 for the Milwaukee, keeping in mind that the lowest score is the best. For kit cost, I have the Skil kit at $120 because it's a 4 amp hour battery, and their kit comes with a 2 amp hour battery, so we had to add the cost of the 4 amp hour battery. The Hercules you have to buy separately. You have to buy the battery, the charger, and the tool. Now the Milwaukee comes in a kit, so that's all together already with the 4 amp hour battery. And I award basically 1/10 of the cost for points. So Skil gets 12 points, Hercules 14, and Milwaukee 18. So that means in total, our Skil is victorious at a 54.88 and some change. Milwaukee comes in right behind the Skil at 59, and the Hercules is about 8 points behind Milwaukee at 67. Be sure to let me know in the comments whether or not you agree with how I did this and the total, what you would do differently, and especially what you want to test in the future, and I will try to track it down. Now, I know the Skil has won this thing, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Because of the trigger lag, I think I'd end up reaching for the Milwaukee more than the Skil. That's just me personally. You can let me know what you think about that, but that's how I feel about it. And I like the old Milwaukee, but that might be just me.